you for those amazing virtual backgrounds. The virtual
Thank
backgrounds
you.
look
Thank you.
phenomenal.
I just realized, the theme we are covering, our body is covering the theme for the next time. The learning. I'm like, I
There's
did put the
always learning.
theme. I did
There's
put the
always
theme. Where is
learning.
it? No worries.
How's the little addition to the family doing?
She's doing well. We had the best meeting before that. After the speech,
Okay.
she was in my arms. I was holding her.
Maybe you can show us also.
Yeah, sure. In the break, I'll bring her. Now she's having a good sleep. I want to have a good sleep at night as well. So,
Let us sleep then. That's more better.
Once you become parents, your good night sleep is a rarity.
yeah, for everyone. Now, Hisham is our president is a very good mentor when it comes to parenting. He keeps sending me good videos about how to put baby sleep, what to do, sleep with the baby. I did implement Hisham the other day. It was
It
successful.
helps, right? It
I had I
helps.
had I had two options, whether to sleep with the baby or it was too early to sleep. So I preferred to sleep with the baby, and I was happy that I took that decision to sleep early.
I think
Okay.
we can start now. Yeah.
Yes.
We are heading towards 7:30. Madam Sergeant Etam,
Yes.
take it
fine.
away.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests from all over the world. I am Toastmaster Sushma Anil Kumar, your virtual Sergeant at Arms today. Welcome to Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters meeting number 11. As we are meeting virtually in your homes, I hope you know where the nearest exit is. I also hope you know where the nearest washrooms are. Please ensure all mobile devices are and other noise producing devices are on silent mode, and also that you are logged in only from one device. Let us remind ourselves of the Toastmasters international core values, which are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy, and have fun at our virtual meeting. Now, to take over the meeting, we have a native of Sri Lanka, passed UK exams, working in Bahrain and studying for Scottish MBA by training an auditor, accountant, analyst, and advisor. He is a fan of great presentation skills. Please welcome, soft-spoken, ever ready to help, our President, Distinguished Toastmaster, Hisham Jeffrey.
Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant at Arms. Big round of applause for Toastmaster Sushma. Thank you so much. Meeting number 11 is hereby called to order. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, very, very welcome on this beautiful weekend, the Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters meeting. We continue and we conclude our three-part series on evaluation. If you remember, we started off this particular month with a certain objective in mind, and it was all about evaluation. So we had three events. We spoke about DTM Verity Prize, who presented her semi-final and hopefully proposed final speech for evaluation from the BDT members. On Thursday, we hosted a very, very successful, well-received evaluation workshop by the father of District 20 evaluation, Distinguished Toastmaster Ahmed Shukri. And today we conclude with this meeting. The essence of evaluation series concludes, but conclusion does not mean the ending. It will start a new and exciting series, and I will leave our Vice President Education to elaborate at the business session as well. Let us establish the quorum. We are 21 members, and I believe we have just crossed the quorum with DTM Shurek joining us as well. So decisions taken at the meeting will be binding. Let us adopt the agenda. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nagendra. Any amendments to the agenda?
Mr. President, as of now, there is no amendments to the agenda. We are only waiting for the distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal to join, and once he is in, we are good to go. We have all the role players available.
That is fabulous news. That is amazing news. Thank you so much. Can someone propose to adopt the agenda as it is?
Mr. President,
Thank you very much. Yes, DTM Jani, go ahead.
I raise the motion to adopt the agenda as it is.
Thank you very much, DTM Jahangir Khan. May I have a second?
I second it.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sushma. Thank you, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim. The agenda is adopted. So let me also formally welcome for his area director's visit, Toastmaster Farooq Khadir, Area 2 Director. Welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you. Let me also take this opportunity to recognize the presence of Toastmaster Ahmed Al-Balushi, who is the Area 3 Director. So let me also take this opportunity to welcome, I believe the area, is it Area 37 Director, Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shehabi. Toastmaster Kamal, welcome to BDT. It's such a pleasure. Let me go around and ask for a round of introductions. Some of our guests have introduced themselves, so I will ask them to give us a very brief rundown of themselves as well. Let me start off with Toastmaster Sandra. Toastmaster Sandra, a few words if you don't mind.
Thank you very much for conducting this meeting today. I am from the United States and I've been a member since 1988 and one of the first ambassadors, guides, and ambassadors in the world. Nice to be here today. Thank you.
Welcome again, Toastmaster Sandra. It's such a pleasure having you with us. And then I see a very good friend of mine all the way from Thailand. We meet in Kuwait and now we meet again in Bahrain. DTM Petra all the way from Thailand. Welcome to BDT. Would you please give us a short introduction? Screen is yours.
Thank you so much, President, and a good friend. My name is Petra and I'm from Thailand. The time in Thailand is now pretty close to midnight. And I'm feeling so honored and so excited to be learning from this meeting. Thank you so much.
Very welcome, very welcome. So hopefully you will continue to be Cinderella. Let us also welcome Toastmaster Tessie. Toastmaster Tessie all the way from Nigeria. Welcome to BDT. A couple of lines of introduction if you would.
Okay, good evening, Toastmasters. My name is Tessie Maduka. I've been a Toastmaster for just about a year now. It's my pleasure to be here. I was introduced to this club by TM Namite, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much and very welcome. Let us hear from Toastmaster Namiti. Toastmaster Namiti, if you would give us a few words of introduction.
Thank you very kindly, President Hisham. I thank you for this warm welcome to your club. And I am also a Toastmaster from Nigeria. Toastmaster Sandra invited me. Toastmaster Sandra is my mentor, in which I'm well pleased. I'm so proud of her. So I'm hoping to learn a lot from you today. And I love the club environment already. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your kind words. It's really inspirational and motivational to us. And I hope you take back pleasant memories with you. Let's hear from Toastmaster Jeffrey. Toastmaster Jeffrey, welcome to BDT. If we can have a few words of introduction.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It's indeed an honor to be here among such distinguished Toastmasters and to learn quite a bit. And I wanted to be part of the series, but luckily I'm here at least at the end of the series. And it's obviously a great pleasure. I also know many of you who have graced my club, WMC Toastmasters Club, such as distinguished Toastmaster Hisham and Toastmaster Naga. And yes, you have come and you have taken up many roles as well as judging roles as well and workshops. So it's a great honor to further learn from all of you. And also it's great to see our current president, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, here as well. So pleasure to be here. Back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And with regard to the series, we are working on putting it on YouTube so that it can be saved for posterity as well. That is another side benefit of the COVID-19 pandemic. Otherwise, we hear the workshops and it is poof, gone. Let's hear from Toastmaster Unikrishnan. Toastmaster Unikrishnan, if you would give us a few words of introduction. I don't see an unmuting happening, so then let us move on to someone who has gone all the way up to the semifinals of the World Championship of Public Speaking. He's gracing us today as a speaker. He's serving us as an area director. Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shahabi, would you give us a few words of introduction, please?
Hi guys. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you all, guys. As you can see, I apologize because I am informal because I am going to the gym. I'm getting fat every day. So I hope we have a great meeting. Thank you very much. And back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Always the signature touch of humor. It's such a pleasure to have you with us, sir. So I believe we have introduced all of our guests except one who I always forget is a guest. The better half of our treasurer, our timer today, Madam Manjula, would you give us a few words of introduction, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm Manjula Nagendra, and as already mentioned by the President, I'm the best half of the TMOD. So it's always a pleasure to be at Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters because every meeting is a great learning experience. So it's a pleasure to be serving you as your timer today and hope to learn a lot of things from so many guests and many distinguished Toastmasters in this virtual world. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Manjula. Thank you and welcome. And the pleasure is always mutual. We have now introduced ourselves, gone all around the world with our guest introductions. Let's move on to our business session. Let me move to our Sergeant at Arms. Madam Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Sushma, anything to report from your end?
Once again, good evening to everyone. As it is our virtual meeting, there is nothing to report as a club inventory. And for the online meeting room and other resources, we are already set for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Sergeant at Arms. It's a pleasure hearing from you. Let me go to the man of the week and the man of the weekend who delivered that innovative, creative, and memorable presentation on club budgeting on Friday. It's my very great pleasure to welcome to give his treasurer's report, Toastmaster Nagendra. If we can have your treasurer's report, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, good evening. As the treasurer, of course, the time to renew is coming. So I will be sending you the information on what are the club dues that needs to be paid. We would be definitely happy that if we can finish paying much before the deadline of September 30th. Hope all our members will support and we'll be able to do that. With that, thank you very much. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Treasurer. I don't see our secretary in attendance today, but he did mention that he is preparing the minutes of the meeting and he had circulated it on the WhatsApp group as well. Let me go on to the person who is responsible for this colorful, tricolor virtual backgrounds, the new father, DTM Jahangir Khan. Mr. VPPR, the screen is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. From the VPPR desk, I'm happy to announce that the first newsletter, which will be having a total of 4 newsletters this term. The first one, which will be, inshallah, released in the month of September. The work has already been started. I'm happy. I would like to acknowledge Toastmaster Sushma, who has come forward to help me in the role of the VPPR. So she is in my team officially, along with the support of the other members like Toastmaster Nagendra, DTM Hisham, Jeffrey, DTM Firm Salman. I'm having officially Toastmaster Sushma, who's helping me in preparing the different things which are required for the VDT and which is my goal to do for the club. Apart from that, it's a general announcement. I think in the new business, I'll be sharing that. The rest, everything is in good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DTM Jahangir Khan, and thank you for all the efforts which have double value, because I understand that the expectations of a new dad are very, very severe. So thank you so much. I believe our Vice President membership, who is also the Club Growth Director for District 20, is not in attendance today, but he did send in his report, and he mentioned that he has approached 2 distinguished Toastmasters. However, due to clashes with their home club meetings, we are finding it a little bit difficult. However, he has shortlisted a few members, DTMs, from the latest batch who he is planning to approach as well. So that's the report from our Vice President membership, DTM Khalid Jalal. Let us go to the youngest DTM in District 20, the youngest district director in the world, and he has honored us by serving us at BDT by being our Vice President Education. I'm proud to be working with him on a day-to-day basis at our common employer. It's my great pleasure to welcome our Vice President Education, DTM Khurram Salman. The screen is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure to be here and being part of the team. I'm glad to announce this concludes our this meeting concludes our evaluation series that we had the third in the event, but we're not. We've got a whole lot of things coming in for the upcoming sessions as well. Next month, the date is yet to be finalized, but we're going to be having a parliamentary procedures workshop, which is going to be none other than the first registered parliamentarian as per the Roberts Rule Book of Order in the Middle East, and that is going to be DTM Ali Shahbaz. We'd have the details of it as soon as possible. And we are planning a very interesting thing coming up in our next meeting that might be themed leadership. We're planning to bring in a good amount of leaders so we can learn from their experience as well. And a whole lot of things that, of course, we will be reaching out to you all for. If there are anybody who is willing to take up any roles or any speeches on that note, please do approach me and we will try to fit you in the agenda. With this, back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. VPE, DTM Khurram Salman. And this is the culmination and the fruition of what we have seen about the work that was done in the month of July. Project Reach Out, Project Keynote, Project District is all bearing fruit. The 3-part evaluation series was as a result of the survey that was circulated to members. Toastmaster DTM Faraz Kiat and the Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram were invited to club officer training as a result of Project District. And we are seeing keynotes that are going out as a result of Project Keynote. So big thank you and kudos to DTM Khurram for managing all this on our behalf. That brings us to the end of the officer reports. Let me now open the session for any other business. But before we go there, let me recognize the presence of another 3-decade Toastmaster, the evergreen, ever young founder president of Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters, DTM Ratidar. Welcome to Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters Club. Would you like to give us a few words, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's always a pleasure to be in this club, BDT Club, and the last evaluation presentation done by DTM Ahmed Shukri was of great value. And when our VP Education, DTM Khurram, advised me to attend this meeting so that the evaluation continuation can and also be attended, and it will be more effective if I attend. I took his advice and I am here today for the meeting. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Let me now open the floor for any other business. Any other news that we need to consider from area, division, and district and the world? The floor is open. Yes, Mr. VP, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. One thing that I forgot to mention during the report as well, well, 2 things I've just realized. One, I think with the presence of DTM Sandra and DTM Rutinder and all of us, we have about 100 years worth of experience of Toastmasters in this meeting in particular. So that is something that is quite fascinating. So 60 years just among them, and me and myself, DTM Jahangir has been there for about 10+ years now. So we're close to inching to about 100, so that's a century almost. Second, we have just received our first Distinguished Club Program point, submitted as Level 4 Presentation Mastery by DTM Khalid Jalal, who has just joined us as well. So let's congratulate him, and onwards and upwards from here. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Let us recognize the presence of our District 20 CGD, also our Vice President membership, DTM Khalid. Welcome, sir. Let me move on to Distinguished Toastmaster Jahangir Khan, DTM Jani. The floor is yours.
Mr. President, good evening, everyone, once again. Yes, this is now from the PQD team, Program Quality Director of District 20 side. The next event which we'll be having from the District 20 desk from the Program Quality side is the new members orientation program. As already DTM Khurram Salman has requested the district to provide the leaders and experienced Toastmasters from District 20 and from Bahrain Distinguished Toastmaster in specific. I, as the training coordinator, have already started, and inshallah I'll be reaching out to the couple of club members of BDTM. So inshallah, hopefully we will be serving the district in more positions in the district events. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for those wonderful words and that encouragement and inspiration as well. Thank you, DTM Jani. Any more news from division, district, area? Let me also welcome DTM Aziza Al Husseini, the District 20 Arabic Humorous Contest winner. Welcome, DTM Aziza. Nice to see you. In the absence of any other business, can someone propose to close the business session?
Mr. President, I raise the motion to close the business session.
Thank you very much, DTM Jahangir Khan. Can someone second that proposal?
President,
Thank you so much, DTM Mohammed Shuraik. It's such a pleasure seeing you as well. The business session is now closed. We are now exactly 1/3 done with our meeting. Let's move on. Let's move on to the second session, the exciting session to be headed by an even exciting and exuberant gentleman. Let me now introduce our Toastmaster of the day. He has just come from handling a very successful workshop on budgeting. But you know what's amazing? Even more amazing than the workshop? He's someone who is the head of network infrastructure at Gulf Aluminium Rolling Mills Company. So he's an IT savant. His creativity and innovation knows no bounds. But what always surprises me is how he always finds a method to increase and push the boundaries of excellence. Someone I'm very proud to have known for the last 7 years, and he is now going to take over the meeting and take us through the education session. Please welcome, with a warm round of applause, Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram. Take it away, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Area 2 Director, Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Kader, fellow Toastmasters, and distinguished guests from all over the world, good day to you. I am Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram, your Toastmaster of the day for the meeting number 11 of the Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters Club. Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters was started by a group of distinguished Toastmasters who wanted to do something unique for Toastmasters community. The club was set up with the goal of becoming the center of excellence, and it meets every second Saturday of the month. The meeting's theme today is Essence of Evaluation. When I attended the evening of evaluation excellence on Thursday, I realized the importance of evaluation. Don't you agree that receiving feedback is always beneficial? According to Management Alternatives' Paul Bullen, the essence of evaluation is a process of asking and answering questions about worthiness. We frequently assess worth in terms of effectiveness, efficiency, adequacy, and appropriateness. And receiving that valuable evaluation assists us in becoming better version of ourselves. As the Toastmasters International founder Dr. Ralph C. Smedley said, ours is the only organization in that I know dedicated to the individual. We work together to bring out the best in each of us, and then we apply these skills to help others. Yes. The meeting today is divided into 2 sessions. The first session is an education session in which club members present their prepared speeches, followed by the members and guests practicing speaking in an innovative and impromptu manner. The second session is the evaluation, during which the project speakers receive constructive feedback from a panel of evaluators with suggestions for improvement. I would like to invite our guests tonight to attend our future meetings and make new friends who can support and encourage you on your Toastmasters journey. Meetings must begin and end on time. Today's timer is my support, my mentor, and my better half, a member of Allied Bahrain Communicators Toastmasters Club, and we are hoping for her to join this club also. To explain the timing criteria, please welcome Toastmaster Manjula Nagendra. The screen is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Hope I am audible. I would like a thumbs up. Thank you. We live in complicated times, right? And even a slight delay in time can be concerning. Let me give you an example. OTPs, they are valid for just 30 seconds, while amazing deals, maybe on any of your favorite Amazon or whichever, are valid for a few minutes or sometimes a few hours. Whereas a Google or Instagram outage that lasts for a few minutes or sometimes an hour can cause havoc around the world. Time has undoubtedly been a valuable commodity in our lives, especially today. In what can be described as our grammarians' delight today, I will explain my role as a timer today in terms of the 3 R's. Remind, record, and repeat. My most important reminder to all the speakers in this meeting is please pin the video of the timer before you start speaking. Now, let me first remind you the time limits for the different sections. I would like to share my screen. Hope I have access to do that. Mr. Host, Hisham, I think you have disabled screen access. If you could just allow.
Madam Sergeant at Arms, would you please make Toastmaster Manjula co-host? Thank you.
If Sushma, if it's a problem, I will continue. That's all right. It's okay. So for the prepared speeches, for both the speeches today, the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, you will see the timer video go to green. Yeah, you will see the timer video background go to green. At the end of 6 minutes, you will see it turn to amber, and at the end of 7 minutes to red. For the table topic speakers, it is 1 to 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, you will see it turn to green. End of 1.5 minutes, it will turn amber. And at the end of 2 minutes, it'll turn red. And for all our speech evaluators, you will be given 2 to 3 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, it'll turn to green. 2.5 will be amber and 3 will be red. But as you all know, we Toastmasters are very generous people, right? So we give you 30 seconds to wrap up your speeches very neatly. And today, at the end of this session, I will present my report when asked for by the Toastmaster of the day. Back to you, Mr. T. Modi.
Thank you, Timer Toastmaster Manjula. Because English is not the native language spoken in this region of the world, we require someone to monitor our language to assist us in improving our English language speaking skills. A Toastmaster for 7 years, lifelong fan of reading, books, and beauty of the language. A teacher, trainer, mentor, and coach. Senior lecturer in the banking and finance sector at the Bahrain Institute of Banking and Finance. He is the District 20 Humorous Speech and Evaluation Champion. To provide us the guidelines as a language evaluator, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Hisham Jifri.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Our founding father says, real communication is impossible without listening. So it is the speaker's duty to make sure that what is being spoken is music to our ears. And as the language evaluator, it falls upon me as a very pleasant role to listen for the great users of language, similes, metaphors, alliteration, triads, analogies, anaphora and epiphora, to see how the speakers are entertaining us with masterful use of the English language. And at the end, I will come back to you and see how, and report to you how these speakers have used our language. Because as Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, our founding father, says, understanding comes through communication, and through communication, we find the way to peace. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hisham. Today, we have the privilege of having the Area 2 Director amongst us as an official visit to the club. And it is an honor for me to introduce him. He's a business development consultant by profession and a budding life coach by passion, who accidentally joined Toastmasters in November 2018. Surprisingly, he is now a member of 6 clubs in 2 districts and has served as the treasurer, vice president membership, and vice president education. Currently, beside being the Area 2 Director, he is serving as the president of Allied Bahrain Communicators Toastmasters and as a vice president education at the Bahrain Advanced Toastmasters and Bahrain Debaters Toastmasters. To address us tonight, please welcome Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Kader. The screen is all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Respected CGD, area directors, distinguished club president and officers, and honorable guests. This is my first visit to any club as an area director. And what I decided was, what should I communicate to a Bahrain Distinguished Toastmaster Club? So I talked about it, racked my brains. Then I said, what is Toastmasters all about? It's about communicating and telling stories. So let me start with a story for you. How many of you know Mullah Nasruddin Hoja? He's a comic character, very famously known in the Arab world as Joha. But in the Asian subcontinent, we call him Nasruddin Hoja. He's supposed to be a mischievous person, a jokester, and a prankster. So there was a story that one time he was walking with his friend in the market and feeling mischievous. He said, look, how I will motivate, excite the people around me. So he went to one of the persons, said very excitedly with conviction and said, hey, what are you doing here? Don't you know the king is giving a feast at his palace? He said, really? Yeah, go ahead. So he met 2, 3 people and did the same. And his friend said, what did you do? The king is not giving a feast. He said, well, we know that, but see the fun that will happen. Now, after a few times, he sees one of his old friends running. And he says, Joha, what are you doing here? He says, I'm just walking. He said, don't you know the king is giving a feast? So he said, okay, go. He and his friends start laughing. Then he comes to another second person coming and said, Joha, what are you doing there? I'm running to get to the king's feast. Join with me. Joha starts silently laughing, keeps quiet. Then the third person comes and says, Joha, what are you doing here? Don't you know the king is giving a feast? Let's go there. So now Joha starts running also. And his friend said, Joha, why are you running? Don't you know this is a false story? He said, yes, it is false, but who knows, it could be true. Let's go and find out. And when he reaches there, lo and behold, the king had found out what the people were gathering, and in his magnanimity ordered giving a feast. So sometimes what happens is even the mischievous intentions, if you say them with conviction, they turn out to be true or inspire people. Now, what is the purpose of my story here? The purpose here is that this is my ask of you as Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters. If Joha, a mischievous person, could do that with a false intent, how can you, not as ambassadors with experience and dedication, if you start preaching about the benefit of Toastmasters, how many people will you influence and guide and get things on the road? And this is, I wanted to guide you on that part, but I see all you have started on that path. You have started sharing your knowledge with the evaluation workshops and different workshops. And I believe this is what you are doing, and this is what my ask had been, and you have preceded me for that one. With that, I'd like to say that I'm glad to be as area director with the club like Bahrain Distinguished Toastmasters over here. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for those inspirational words. Dr. Smedley said, the unprepared speaker has the right to be afraid. This is why Toastmasters teaches us the art of preparation. Let us now proceed to our meeting's main session. We have 2 prepared speeches today, as well as a thrilling table topics and a panel evaluation. Because we have a panel evaluation, it is the Toastmaster of the day who will be reading out the project purpose for the speakers. And all the 3 evaluators will evaluate both speakers. The first speaker, Distinguished Toastmaster Abdurrahim, will be inspiring the audience with his level 3 elective of the motivational strategies path. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. A special note to the evaluators, the members need to present a speech that inspires the audience. The speech content should be engaging and the speaker entertaining or moving. The speaker should be aware of audience response and adapt the speech as needed. If the member appears to be talking at the audience instead of interacting with them, he or she is not fulfilling the goals of the speech. A note to all the members who are present in the meeting. After his speech, we'll be sharing a link so that you all can give evaluation. It's a written evaluation which can be shared to Toastmaster Abdurrahim. A member of 3 clubs and current president of the World WMC Toastmasters Club, he loves depth in whatever he does, feeling deeply, loving deeply, and speaking deeply. His hobbies include listening to old Hindi music, playing chess, and drinking tea. You know he's always inspired by the quote of Oscar Wilde, one's real life is so often the life one does not lead. Very true. Please welcome Toastmaster Abdurrahim with the speech title, Honesty, Whatever You Thought, Think Again. Honesty, whatever you thought, think again. Toastmaster Abdurrahim, screen is all yours.
Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, please, can you pin the video of the timer?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Done. How many of you would like to have 10 BD today? I'm sure all of us. Let me now crumple this. Would you still like to have it? Of course, yes. Now, before my wife snatches this 10 BD from me, let me quickly put this back in my pocket. Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram, my fellow Toastmasters, most honored, distinguished guests, good evening. Timers, are you ready? Audience, are you ready? Chief Judge, can we begin the contest? Thank you very much. To begin the speech evaluation contest, may I now invite our test speaker, Toastmaster, so-and-so with the speech title, so-and-so. That was a division contest. I was one among the audience sitting and enjoying the contest in Bahrain Carlton Hotel many years ago. Believe me, no speaker came on stage. It was a pin drop silence in the hall. Everyone wondering and watching at the stage, where is the test speaker? After about 5 minutes, the contest chair broke the silence. Ladies and gentlemen, apparently one of the contestants has informed us that he will not be contesting. Anyway, the contest started and ended. By the way, this is not a fiction, it is a fact. After the contest, we came to know that this particular contestant who withdrew at the 11th hour was ready with his pen and pad to jot down. The moment he heard the test speaker's name and the speech title, he got up from his seat, put down his pen, walked straight to the contest chair, and he said, "Excuse me, sir, I'm not going to contest." The contest chair was shocked. "Sir, what happened? Any problem?" "I'm sorry, I've already heard this test speech before." And then he walked out. Ladies and gentlemen, come to think of it, even if the contestant has gone ahead and contested, do you think anybody would have known that he has already heard the test speech before? No way. Even then, that Toastmaster didn't want to enjoy that undue advantage over his fellow contestants. What honesty, what integrity. I'm sure that day Dr. Ralph C. Smedley would have smiled in his grave. And I learned a great lesson that day from that great Toastmaster, that honesty is not just not telling lies. True honesty is being truthful, even when nobody is watching you. Ladies and gentlemen, how far are we honest? How far are we truthful? Are we saying the truth most of the time? Let's say, for example, if let's say somebody gives us a homemade cheesecake and we say, "Wow, yummy, delicious, what a cake." But in reality, after the first bite, we are tossed it to the dustbin. And as Toastmaster Manjula rightly said, we are generous Toastmasters. And we often say, "Great speech, fantastic speech, fabulous evaluation." Do we really mean what we say? Of course, we have to be positive, but can't we be positive and honest? Because medical science research proves that when we lie, our whole body undergoes tremendous negative changes in terms of blood circulation, heartbeat, blood pressure, pulses, everything changes. Even our voice changes. That's how the lie detector machine detects when a person is lying. But our poor conscience is always starving for truth. So when we lie, it's as if Our whole body is revolting against us and crying to us in pain. Please, for God's sake, stop. When I speak to you the truth, nothing but the truth, it may not be what you want to hear from me, but at least I am letting you know who exactly Abdurrahim is. In case if you are complimenting me, I am making sure you are complimenting the messy, true, imperfect Abdurrahim. So ladies and gentlemen, let us compliment each other. Let us not flatter. So what is the difference between flattery and compliment? Flattery is from mouth, compliment is from the heart. Flattery is self-centered. Compliment is selfless. So danger here is when I keep practicing saying these flattery and white lies, eventually I may become a master liar, right? So we don't have to really resort to dishonesty in order to be positive, in order to be kind, in order to be helpful. There are creative ways of saying the truth. For example, in that cheesecake incident, instead of saying yummy and delicious, which apparently it was not, we can probably say, thank you very much for gifting that homemade cheesecake. I really appreciate the fact that you remembered me. When we keep practicing saying truth, nothing but the truth, our friends and families will be used to listening to what they don't want to listen. They will be comfortable being uncomfortable. So ladies and gentlemen, let us be truly honest with our friends, with our families, in our evaluation, in our judging, and above all, with ourselves. We, the District 20 Toastmasters, let us be the guiding light, the torch bearer to the world in honesty and integrity. This BD10, when crumpled or wrinkled, it didn't become BD9. It was still a good BD10. Similarly, you may be imperfect, you may be uneducated, you may be poor, but if you're honest, you have a value. Just like no bank can deny the value of this BD10, nobody can deny your value when you're honest. Fellow Toastmasters, honestly speaking, there is nothing like honesty. Toastmaster Nagendra.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abdurrahim, for that inspirational speech. When you work on communicating well, people will notice, and new avenues of opportunity may often open to you. The second speaker tonight, Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi, will be sharing his level 1 project to second speech of the persuasive influence path. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic. He has already received feedback and he will be applying his feedback to this second speech. The feedback that he has got for his first speech is stand instead of sitting and speaking, better use of language, avoid using words like stupid and others, have more energy. Note to evaluators, the member has spent time writing a speech to present at the meeting. The member will deliver a well-organized speech on a topic, and the focus on the member's speaking style, be sure to recommend improvements that the member can apply to the next speech. The speech may be humorous, international, or any style the member chooses. A semi-finalist at the World Champion of Public Speaking in 2018, District 20 International and Humorous Speech Champion in 2018, author of 6 books, and the latest being The Mindset of Great Speakers, a brand story specialist. Please welcome Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shahabi with the speech title, Movies. Movies, Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shahabi. The screen is all yours.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. All right, guys, I need you to participate with me whenever I ask you a question. Just open your mic and say whatever you want to say. Thank you very much. All right.
Toastmaster Kamal, can you please
Yes,
pin the time on his video?
Yes, it's already there. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. What movie can you watch again and again without getting sick of? Now tell me.
Who do you want to answer?
Yes, anybody? Yes.
Godfather.
Godfather, great.
Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven, great. What?
The
My-
Prince of Navarone.
My own childhood movie made by my family.
Thank you very much for participating. For me, it is Terminator 2. Now, why? What makes a movie rewatchable? Now, there are so many factors out there, but let me condense it into 3 simple factors. Number 1 is a movie should have a compelling hero's journey. Now, this term is coined by an author, a researcher, Joseph Campbell, in his book, Hero of a Thousand Faces. He had so many elements in the story. Now, let's say it is 16 elements almost, but let me condense it into 4. A rewatchable movie should have an ordinary life, crisis, call to action, crisis, victory, then back again to ordinary life, but transform. Let me repeat that again, because this is what we are going to work on. Ordinary life, call to action, crisis, victory, ordinary life again, transform. This is factor number 1. Factor number 2, a movie should have an unforgettable scene. Luke, I am your father. Okay. And then the third factor, a movie should have an element of you, which means that you, the viewer, you can put your shoes in the hero's journey. Okay, now I made some research around and I have searched which movie was most rewatchable around the world. Now take a good guess as fast as you can. That has all these 3 elements and it's rewatchable all around the world. Can you guess that movie? Anybody?
Shawshank Redemption.
No.
So, yeah, maybe. Who else?
The Love Story.
Love Story, yes. Who else? Last one?
Tom and Jerry series.
Tom and Jerry series. Great. All right. Now, the movie is called The Past. Yes, it's your past, which you are rewatching each and every day. In fact, some of us are rewatching the past just right now. You know, that failures, that first love, that parent issues, and so on. Now, where are we stuck in this past? Can you guess in which element in the hero's journey we are stuck? I said ordinary life, call to action, crisis, victory. In which scene that we are stuck and we cannot move? Can you guess? Going once?
Call to action.
Call to action, okay. Between the call to action and the crisis, there is an element there which is called the refusal of the call. You know, that leap that we didn't take because of our past failure. And that person that we didn't give a chance because of our past bad relationship. And that speech that we didn't deliver because of past harsh, destructive evaluation. And what's more destructible is we keep adding stuff to this scene that didn't even exist, which is called the Mandela effect. Did you know that Darth Vader didn't actually said, "Look, I am your father"? And this is what happened to our life, right? So we are still stuck in the past. And how do we get unstuck? Now, let me ask you a question. Which element in this hero journey, without it, we won't have a story, or we won't have a movie at all? Again,
Crisis.
Crisis, exactly. Now, how do we take this call to action? In the hero's journey, there is something between the refusal of the call and the crisis, which is called the supernatural aid. Now, for us mortal humans, the supernatural aid is the acceptance of the problem, which is taking actually the problem, because without it, there will be no life. Maybe that failure was actually a stepping stone to success. Maybe that toxic relationship was a leading way to find yourself. And maybe that speech that you don't deliver is a district champion speech. So in order for you to break that chain, is to accept the problem. Because after the crisis, what we said is victory. Then you go back to now, but you're transformed. Now, let me suggest a movie that is rewatchable again and again and have a rating of 9 out of 10 in IMDb.com. This movie is called The Present. Thank you, and back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Wow, that was one wonderful speech, Toastmaster Kamal. Thank you so much. Before slipping into the break, let me call upon the timer to provide us the time taken by the speakers.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. The time taken by speaker number 1, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, is 7 minutes and 28 seconds. I would like to just give a tiny breakup. At 5 minutes, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, you were at, I'm letting you know who Abdul Rahim is. At 6 minutes, you were at, instead of yummy and delicious, say thank you for the delicious cheesecake. And at 7 minutes, you said it was still a good BD10. So totally, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim took 7 minutes and 28 seconds, well within the time. Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shahabi, at 5 minutes, he said, how do we get unstuck? At 6 minutes, failure was the stepping stone to success. And at 7 minutes, this movie is called The Present. The total time taken is 7 minutes and 11 seconds. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, timer. Sitting in front of the screen for an extended period of time necessitates break to refresh our senses so that we can all enjoy the rest of the meeting. We are going to take a short 5 minutes break. Is okay, timer? I think we can, right? I would like to request members and honored guests to get some light refreshments and return quickly in 5 minutes. Thank you. If you still have, you want to give feedback, you can give, or you can just copy these links and then give feedback to both our speakers at a later time also. It would be really great that if you give your feedback, it will definitely have a the essence of the evaluation that you give. Thank you. Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you for designing that amazing feedback form, Toastmaster Naga. That was truly a work of art. DTM Rathinder, why do you look so sad? You're on mute. You're on mute, sir. DTM Rathinder, you're on mute. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Manju,
The hallmark of Zoom meetings.
That silence? Or that being on mute? Kind of silence.
DTM Khalid, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Mr. President. My apology for being late. I had little emergency. Yeah.
Nice, fabulous. All okay?
All good so far.
We have a range of guests from across the world. Toastmaster Sandra from the US. We have DTM Petra from Thailand. We have Toastmaster Tessie from Nigeria. And Toastmaster Sandra's protege is missing, I guess. How many cups of coffee today, DTM Khalid?
Sorry, Mr. President, once again.
How many cups of coffee have you had for today?
Not counted so far, but I'm sure not less than 5.
Okay.
And I'm having my 6th one right now.
My goodness, that's a lot. Big ones or small ones?
It's a big mug.
Oh, what are you going to do about dinner, DTM Khalid?
You talking about the early dinner or dinner? I have 2 dinners usually taken.
Oh. Yeah, I'm talking about the dinner.
If you talk about dinner, that usually happens late, about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
In midnight, you mean?
Yeah, that's my second dinner. The first dinner, usually I take my late lunch, which is about, if I'm at work. Today I had my normal lunch, which is about 1 o'clock. I'll have usually something in between. And then I have one dinner about 10 o'clock and then go maybe 1 o'clock, second dinner.
Wow, that's really...
Then usually I go out for a long drive with my coffee after that.
Long drive. When do you sleep then?
Never.
I can tell you, I get up 6 o'clock morning.
Okay, 6 o'clock in the morning you get up, but do you have your regular 6-7 hours sleep?
No, usually I go 3 to 4 hours a day.
He's a cyborg.
Then I compensate during the weekend.
Okay.
Thanks to these days, every Friday we have some kind of an event. Again, I have to get up early. Managing.
DTM Aziza is here.
Time up, I think, if you want to move on.
Thank you so much, timer. We are now, I think we have finished our 5 minutes. Welcome back, everybody, to the most exciting session of our meeting today. The innovative impromptu table topics. To conduct the table topics, we have a Toastmaster since 2008, member of Three Toastmasters Club. Professionally, she is a hairstylist and a henna artist, a Reiki healer, and Access Bar facilitator. Socially, she's a member of ICRF. Honestly, I don't know what that is. I couldn't find out what it was. So sorry about it. Counseling women in distress. Please welcome Toastmaster Sushma Gupta to conduct the table topics. Toastmaster Sushma Gupta, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. First of all, I'll tell what is ICRF. It is Indian Community Relief Fund. Once again, good evening to everyone. Table topics. What is table topics? Table topics intends to help the members to develop their ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. So today I'm your table topic master. And so I'm lucky because I'm not going to answer, I'm going to only question. First topic, one second. Home is where the heart is. With the real world to think about and maybe a family to look after, we are often limited in choice when it comes to wanting a change of scenery. Though adventurous, decisions are not usually an option. At least we are allowed to dream. The first topic is, how would you convince your friend, can be a boyfriend or a girlfriend, to live in the house which is your dream house? And your friend also has to live with you. One second. So this is a dream house. Is my screen visible? So
Yes,
this is a dream house. It is in Tokyo, and it is a see-through dream house. And the topic is, as I said, how would you convince your friend, girlfriend, or a boyfriend to live with you in this house? And please remember that when you are answering to this question or the topic, make it as funny as you can so that we can enjoy. And the topic goes to DTM Ratinder.
Oh my God. Now, how am I going to sell this idea to my friend to come and live in a see-through apartment of mine? It's going to be very difficult. The person who I have got to go and tell will have to be somebody who doesn't understand what living under the whole world's eye. So I will have to go in search of a friend like that. And to go in search of a friend like that, I have to go to a place in Tokyo itself. And in Tokyo, from what I have known and I have come across, is many of the professionals there, they are more interested in their work than spending time at their homes. So I will have to go and find a person like that, which will not be very difficult for me, as since the people who work in big companies like Panasonic and big Japanese companies, they tend to work for more than 18 hours, 20 hours like that, which I have seen by myself also. They are very, very work conscious. They are workaholics and they don't like to go home. And even after they finish their work, they go to a pub and start drinking till late in the night, where they took me also. And by the time I fell asleep in the pub itself. So when they are falling asleep in the pub itself, then I will have to carry this gentleman back to the dream house. and then I will have to put him on the sofa and let him pass out. Then after that, I will go to the garage. Behind that car, there is a place where I can sleep quite peacefully without somebody peeping into my room and snore to my heart's content. That is the way I would do it, Madam Table Topics Man.
Thank you, DTM Rathinda. It was really awesome, I'll say. So now, second topic. Why do you like tortoise? And if you are given a house of tortoise, would you love to live in it? Is Toastmaster Jeffrey there? Can we have Toastmaster Jeffrey answer to this topic?
Hisham, I think it's you.
No, there's another one.
There's another.
Jeffrey Abraham. Let's move on, madam.
Okay, then we can ask this topic to our president, Mr. Hisham Jeffrey. Why do you like tortoise, and would you like to live in this house?
I like tortoise, and the reason for that is a little known fact that the tortoise lives for over 1,000 years. Madam Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, good evening to you. One of the first investments that we make, and probably the biggest investment we make, tends to be the house that we live in. But imagine the amazing benefit it would be if nature itself gives you a house to live in. Let me tell you a story. So far, I have lived for 4 decades and I have owned exactly this many houses. I don't own property in Sri Lanka. I don't own property in Bahrain. So if you offer me the chance to have a house that I can carry with me anywhere I go, which will be there for as long as I want, into which I can crawl back and relax, away from the beatings of the world, and use as my fortress of solitude, I don't like it. I absolutely love it and I adore it. Because I would fill this little house with the things that I love the most. And these would be good people and good books. So wherever I go, I know that if I take a step back, a deep breath, my home, my refuge, my solitude is always just one step behind me. In summary, a house given by me, just like the tortoise has been given a house, would give me something very important. In a world where we are running forward, it gives me the option to step back, regather and recoup and come at the world, face its challenges stronger than ever before. And in this pandemic environment, in this COVID-19 environment, wouldn't that be a great benefit? Back to you, madam.
That was wonderful, Mr. President. Yes, tortoise is a very long-living animal, and in Feng Shui, a tortoise is used if you want to have a business and you want it for a long time or anything, just keep a tortoise over there and you are going to have a good business as well. Now, the third topic, I know this person has already spoken, but still I would give the topic to this person. What are the exciting things you can enjoy in this particular house? And do you think that you can live here forever? The topic goes to DTM Abdul Rahim. Is he there?
Yeah. Madam Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, most honored, distinguished guests.
This is a house for you. Especially if you're not afraid of the heights, you can have a house in the sky. Please go ahead.
Well, as you mentioned, living forever. Living forever is one thing that I'm not very sure of, because the thing that excites me about life is its uncertainty. What is certain about life is the uncertainty, that it is, we don't know what is going to be tomorrow, right? What is the best thing that we have today in our life? The most precious thing? Is it our relationship? Is it our money? Is it our bank balance? Or is it our health? What is that most important thing? It is our breath. So I don't know if I will catch that next breath or no. So if I don't catch that next breath, I may be gone within a minute or minute and a half. Millions have missed that breath. So I don't believe in the concept of living forever. What makes the life exciting is the uncertainty, as I said, that shortness, that brevity, that limited time that we have. That's why time is so important. That makes time so precious, so invaluable, that we have a very limited time in this world, right? So in this particular house in which Table Topics Master want me to live there, of course, I want to enjoy all the comforts. I want to enjoy all the facilities. At the same time, I don't want to live forever. Living forever means time has no meaning. Everything, whatever I have is forever. What makes it exciting is that I have it for a very limited time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to live in this beautiful house. I want to enjoy all the comforts with all my family and friends, probably host a BDT Toastmasters meeting there and enjoy the meeting and deliver another speech and enjoy all the evaluation. But at the same time, it has to be for a limited time. Ladies and gentlemen, over to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Table Topics Master.
I can say, DTM Abdul Rahim, you are really very daring person. You want to live in such a house. Are we having more time, or it's done for the table topics? Mr. Toastmaster of the Day?
I think we have done for the Toastmasters, so I don't think we have enough time
We
for
don't
any
have
more talk.
Okay, fine then. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, all the table topic speakers, for those innovative impromptu speeches, and the table topics master for conducting the session. He is affiliated with Toastmasters since past 17 years, a determined, proactive, and a passionate individual who always strives to deliver the best outcome in any role he takes on, as well as he leaves a trail of value, quality, and legacy to follow behind him. The founding president of the club BEST, the Bahrain Elite Speakers Toastmasters, evaluation champion of Division C, and the youngest district director, to provide a short feedback on the table topic speeches. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Khurram Salman. The screen is all
Thank you,
yours.
Master of the Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm good evening to you all in whichever part of the world you are in. The purpose of the Table Topics evaluation is just to improve your impromptu speaking, as we believe here at the DTM Club that this is the most transferable skill right into your corporate life or your real life, as we would like to say. We have three wonderful speakers today with wonderful topics. I like how the Table Topic Master of the Day had one house displayed and different topics surrounding that part. The first speaker, DTM Ratinder, introduced the topic very nice. I like the oh my God as to he went into speaking. And although a Toastmaster of 30 years saying oh my God tells you the value of Toastmasters and table topic session. I like how his knowledge of Japan and Japanese companies was sprinkled throughout. So we got to know that he knows a little bit about what he's speaking about. What my feedback to him is that he could have enacted a scenario of him sitting in the bar and trying to reach out to his Japanese friends. As he did mention, that it was implied that he has visited Japan. Not sure if that was real or not, but that could have been enacted a bit more just for the fun part of it. And I would advise him to step back from the camera a little bit as well. A table topic speech is still a speech. So speaking a bit up on the camera does not help you. Okay, so step back from the camera a little bit and enact it as if you're delivering a proper speech as well. But overall, very well tackled, although it took a bit of time for the speaker to find his footing, but once he did, he moved into it very well. So kudos to you, DTM Rothinder. Our second speaker, DTM Hisham Jeffrey, is a table topics champion. So there was not a whole lot that I can add to that, but I loved the intro that he had. I loved how he came with the story, because stories are always the best way to connect with the audience, and including stories in your table topics is just an icing on the cake. So brilliantly well done. I just wish towards the end that a quote adding that could have just enhanced and wrapped it up very nicely with a nice little bow. And the reason I say that is that I know that you have a lot of quotes on your fingertips, and you could have just, fished for one and have it brought down for your table topics speech as well. Just that. Our third speaker was Toastmaster Abdurrahim. I liked how he had a nice contrasting intro. Constant is change. I don't want to live forever, because the uncertainty is what excites me a lot more. And I loved how he went with, is it our money? Is it our bank balance? Is this, is that? It is our breath. A pause at that moment would have really made it more effective, and an opportunity that he could have, of course, you can always think of these things at the spot, but there was a very nice opportunity with him saying a see-through life with a see-through house, because he was talking about how you have limited time and you need to live your life to the fullest on that note. So the house is a see-through one, and the see-through life, he could have connected that, but that is, of course, personal opinion. I do feel that it took him a while to go towards the topic. So that intro part where he started was a bit extended. So that could have been reduced to get to a point where I was wondering if he's going to talk about the topic or not. So we shouldn't be in that situation. So if the intro was very brilliant, if you can just jump towards the main topic, the main meat as soon as possible. Overall, all the three speakers did well. Kudos to our table topic master of the day as well. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khurram. Now let us proceed to the session to learn the essence of evaluation and how our speakers have met their purposes of their speeches. We have a panel of evaluators who will provide feedback on the speeches that we have already heard. Let us hear the evaluation for the honesty, whatever you thought. Think again, speech of Toastmaster Abdurrahim. Let me introduce the first evaluator. A Toastmasters for over 16 years now, a fire evacuation lecturer and trainer, passionate about public speaking and mentoring, to provide the evaluation, focusing on whether the speaker met the objectives of the speech. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Jahangir Khan. Jahangir Khan,
Thank you.
the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Master of the Ceremonies, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, and our speaker, Toastmaster Abdurrahim Hassan, in specific. So I will be evaluating Toastmaster Abdurrahim Hassan. It's an honor for me to evaluate a speaker like Toastmaster Abdurrahim on the speech objective, which was to inspire your audience. Let me start from the beginning itself. To grab the attention of the audience, always the key element to any speech, and especially when you want to inspire your audience, you have to grab their attention from the very beginning. So you hook the audience from the beginning with the showing us the note of 10 BD, which reminded me of Muhammad Dafani with the cigarette. So you had something similar. You grabbed the attention, and we were looking into what you're thinking of doing with that 10 BD, followed by the humor, excellent humor touch. Again, I will be going from the beginning, how you were inspiring till the very end. You backed it up with the humor of giving us the punchline, which was about your wife taking it back before. So you kept it back into your pocket. I saw the faces of the husbands out there, including myself. We could relate to that. Then you had a beautiful scene with which you connected everyone moving forward about the scene, about the contest room, how it would be at the contest room, and now it was going towards where everyone is, related to. We all were getting connected to your speech because we all have been to that room, we have been to that situation in the contest room, how it would be. So a beautiful scene you elaborated, and we were with moving forward with you, followed by the dialogues which were happening and excellent positioning of the characters. Now when we have the dialogues, I do say many a times the speakers don't position the characters, so you were positioning the character, the contest here, the speaker, everyone was at their position. We all know Toastmaster Abdurrahim is excellent when it comes to beautiful phrases. And today, again, in the speech, we had the beautiful phrases and which were making us getting inspired by his speech. True honesty is when no one is looking was one of the phrases which really attracted me in person. Whenever you make a claim, it is always good to back it up with the data. So when he shared about the fact about lying, changes in the body, changes due to the fact which you shared, like there are science say that there is, if you have this thing, changes to the body happens when you lie. Whenever you have whatever you started with, you finish that as well. For example, you started with the baked cake, you give an example how we compliment. If the cake is not good, we compliment the cake was good, but later on you back it up how we should be a true, we should give this thing, thank you for giving us the cake, how we should be explaining that rather than just faking it. The value of the note towards the end, again, you connected us back, giving us an example of the note. Now, there are a few rooms of improvement when you come to the inspiring your audience. These were the few elements which were missing according to me. As you all know, the music happens in the silence between. So when you were announcing the contestant name, you continued with that. There was a pause missing. So you should have taken us with you when you said about everything, what was happening. Contestant number 1, ABC, ABC. The pause was missing for us to imagine what could have happened over there. Example of Toastmaster Manjula, which you give, it was excellent. However, we have international guests as well, so we don't really know what Toastmaster Manjula believes in. So you could have rephrased that line when you said Toastmaster as Toastmaster Manjula. You could have rephrased as one of our member, she believes, she says. So the audience would connect more. Emotions, a little bit more emotions could have been added. Make them to say, you should make the audience either cry or laugh. You should make them feel something. So more emotions could have been added by adding a personal touch. Overall, it was a wonderful speech. These 3 suggestions from my side. With this, back to you, Master 7.
Thank you, distinguished Master Jahangir. A senior group ICT manager in a large manufacturing firm based in Bahrain with multiple subsidiaries worldwide. The Bahrain country advisor and board member for the International Group of Artificial Intelligence, a global artificial intelligence group, board member of the Business Society in Bahrain, a Toastmaster since 2018, our club's charter president, and currently he is serving as the club vice president membership, in addition to being the immediate past president. To share the evaluation focusing on the content, please welcome second evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal. The screen is all yours. Timer, can we get the screen back to blue? Thank you. Khalid Jalal, the screen is all yours.
Thank you very much for Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmasters and guests all around the world, good evening once again. Timer, should I start now? I've done you already.
You can go ahead.
Thank you. They say life without content, an exam paper without a content, and a speech without a content doesn't worth BD10. Do we all agree? Yes, Otherwise, the life is meaningless, the exam paper will fail, and we have no money in our pocket. Today's speech was not only full of relevant and real life content, but truth about the core values we want to follow, and we talk all our meetings. I believe what we heard today is the impact of Toastmasters' core values. The contestants in the speech have really decided to follow. He could have easily contested, could easily added all the comments and points and could have become a winner. But he decided to live with integrity, live with the core values of Toastmasters International, and decided not to contest and give the opportunity to others. That itself, in my view, made that individual contestants a winner of that day. Today's speech from Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, our member, is not just an ordinary speech in my view. It's a book by itself, written by him, and we should be practicing and preaching that particular book. It is full of lessons. Number one, lesson of value of honesty. It is a lesson full of vocabulary. The words like flattery versus compliment and so on, the list is huge. Lesson of positivity, where he said how to tell things even if you don't like them in a positive way. And he gave the example of homemade cake, even the taste was not good, could have said it in differently, but positively. He also added in his speech lessons for all of us to follow. And he gave an example that we should be living examples of the honesty in this world. We can start to be those people in this world. And of course, full of motivations. I'm sure we all were glued to this entire speech word by word. Being a guru of vocabulary, telling quotes, motivational content writer and speaker, we all have enjoyed the entire content. The one thing which I really would like to have enjoyed is the slight pauses which have made the content delivery more pleasant and music to the ears. Overall, in terms of content, I think you have done full and the fullest justice in your speech. We have really enjoyed. You gave us actually a complete book, which we need to take with us and preach to our fellow members as well. Slight improvement on the pauses, and your content delivery will be one of the best. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khalid. To provide evaluation focusing on the delivery of the speech, please welcome our Area 2 Director, Toastmaster D. Ghulam Farooq Qadir. Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. A 10 BD note, taken up, then showed and say, does anybody want it? Then crumpled together and put back into the pocket. What an attention-grabbing opening. That shows that you have mastered the art of capturing the attention of people through delivery and some tricks that you need to do, which enhance the audience interest. Excellent done. You also incorporated a story and you played that story up. When you delivered your speech, you walked as a contestant rising up and then walking away, going to the judge and explaining what happened. You effectively used the stage and the physical movements excellently, in my opinion. That was very nicely done. And I don't have any comments to make, except that some things that I felt was some missed opportunities from my side that could have enhanced your speech to go much further. It was an excellent speech, but there's always things that we can improve. The first one of them that I think was a missed opportunity was when you talked about what the body goes through when lying. You could have stimulated things like feeling contrived, feeling a blood pressure, feeling excited. that was a missed opportunity in the physical delivery, where that could have added kudos to your thing. The other thing that I felt that was missing was when you finish your speech and you said that with all my imperfections, I'm the same as Abdul Rahim. You could have brought back the crumpled note and straightened it and give it to the face of say, still crisp. This is Abdul Rahim, still crisp, even though it's crumpled, it still has value. That was things that I had missed. The other thing that I felt was just to challenge yourself, and this is something that I also feel for myself, is I'm not very good at facial expressions. Okay, but there's something I felt that you have the skill to, and you can incorporate them very better. Like one of the things, like when you talked about what happened, okay, the audience was astonished. What happened? Opening up your eyes and moving around, moving your face a little bit. Maybe those are some things that you know better that you can incorporate in speech. But overall, a wonderful speech. I enjoyed it a lot and wish you all the best. Toastmaster Abdul Rahim.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir. Now let us quickly get into the evaluations of the movies presented by our second speaker, Toastmaster Kamal Al-Shahabi. To provide the evaluation focusing on whether the speaker met the objectives of the speech, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster of the Day, for this opportunity. As our speaker, Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi, met the objective of this project. The purpose is to incorporate the objective received from the previous evaluation and, of course, to deliver the speech in a way it should be delivered. If I look at the language area of improvement, yes, I have witnessed that the language usage was much improved than the feedback received earlier, and it was very politely delivered. The second feedback received was the position, stage usage. I've seen our speaker was standing, moving around, showing different gestures, coming forward, leaning to the table. So that shows that he has incorporated those comments very seriously. And I'm sure he will be continuing those comments in other projects as well. The third was the energy, the delivery style, how much energy impact he can bring in his words and the sentences. What I heard today, the entire speech was full of stories, energies, personal stories, and how someone can be impacted from a movie. And the movie we are watching is our own movies. A lot of energy put. Energy doesn't mean it has to be very loudly spoken or it has to be, imposed for every small and thing. How it can impact on us and how we can deliver the wording. And I found that energy was very, very appropriate for the content it was delivered today. And it has engaged the entire audience. I wish our speaker, Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi, all the best. With one small suggestions from my side. Yes, there was energy, but I'm sure the content you brought in today, the movies and the story about us, we could have used some more impressions with the energy that could have made the energy much higher to be felt by all of us. But otherwise, great delivery, and you have met all the objective of this particular project. I wish you all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khalid. Now, to provide evaluation focusing on the content of the speech, please welcome the third evaluator, the second evaluator, Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir. The screen is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. What a wonderful topic, movies. What can I say? I'm partial towards movies. I love movies. Then the speaker brought about the hero's journey. I think most of the distinguished Toastmasters are aware of the hero's journey, and we incorporate it in most of speeches. How many of you, can you tell me by raise of hands, are familiar with the hero's journey theory? Raise of hand, please. Okay, less than half. Good, but if not, you will follow up, I know, and start reading about it. That's a good thing that came about from Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi's speech. He brought us something new, talked about movies and correlated them to emphasize a personal journey. That was the beautiful part of that one. And he had structured it nicely with this theory, engaged the audience, asked them questions about which movies are their favorite, and then related back to his own theory about there being a past and the present. Excellently done. Now, what to work on? Excellent. One of the things is that, as we rightly saw, Toastmaster Kamal, some of the members are not aware of the hero's journey. And again, if you read the hero's journey properly, and Campbell's book, the hero's journey is highly used and misused and adapted by different persons in different ways. Some people have 15 stages of a hero's journey, some people have 12, some people have 5, some people have 3. And I felt that this was where you should have spent more of your time explaining your theory and understanding of the hero's journey. What are the real stages? Because if you look in the between, you stepped in one point and said, what comes between crisis and the call to action? You hadn't explained that, but you came in between and said, refusal to the call, refusal to answer the call. This would have, if you had explained all of these stages of the hero's journey better, it would have made the audience more involved in what you were saying. Already done. The other thing is what? That you needed to, I believe that you could have also strengthened the link between the hero's journey, because you linked that between the past movie and the present. You made it 2. The simplest form of hero's journey is 3. So what you could have done, in my opinion, had said the past, the present, and the present, which will soon be a past, and then a new present. Just to emphasize the 3-stage journey. That would have added value to your speech. And one of the other suggestions that I would like to make to challenge yourself is what I felt missing in the story that could have really hitched me and made you part of that one is if you had incorporated your own personal story along with that hero's journey and said, how did you feel about that? Those are my suggestions. Excellently done, and I appreciate the hard work, and I really enjoyed your speech. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir. To provide the evaluation focusing on the delivery aspect of the speech, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Jahangir Khan. The screen is all yours.
Thank you, Master of the Ceremonies, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi, in particular, speaker number 2. So I will be evaluating the delivery part of the speech. Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi was advised in the previous speech to stand up and deliver, which he did. That was one big tick, which he has been given a suggestion, feedback in the previous speech. There were a lot of things which were there in his speech when it comes to the delivery part. There were different factors he was talking about. There were different moments where there were different places where the body language was required when it comes to the delivery. For example, when he was talking about the ordinary life call to action, when he was delivering the speech, at times he was talking about the ordinary life over here to the right, call to action to the left, and then the crisis on the right. So all these things were happening over and over again. However, when he was positioning, when he was giving us about these factors, he was not keeping the same places for those factors. So he has to make sure that if he's talking about the ordinary life at this place, he should be addressing over and over again to that side itself. Toastmaster Kamal Shahabi was coming forward when he was asking the question to the audience, making it very interactive. However, it was at times he prolonged that position. When he was asking the question, he was interacting, but it was just like looking at the screen. His face was right at the our virtual screen for a very long time. So if the speaker is coming forward and interacting with the audience, once the interaction is done, it's preferred the speaker goes back to the position where the speaker is delivering the speech, and the positioning of the speech could be better. Another thing which was noticed, and I personally believe could have been avoided, was as Toastmaster Kamal was standing and delivering this time. However, it was seen many a times he was holding the table. It was very much visible that he's taking the support, which was just not necessary when it comes to the delivery of the speech while you are standing, and which will not be the case when you are delivering on the physical stage. So overall, the suggestions which were given to the speaker, he has incorporated. However, the suggestion of not taking the support while delivering the speech is number one. And number two is making sure whatever the factors he's giving the positions to while delivering, making sure that he keeps the same position for those factors could be added and could be improved in the next projects. With this, back to you, Master of the Ceremonies.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jahangir. Whether or not we followed the agenda in terms of time, I really don't know, but I think we are almost there. Now, let me invite the timer to provide us with the time taken by the table topic speakers, evaluators, and the overall meeting. Please welcome Toastmaster Manjula Nagendra, if she is ready, to give her final timer's report.
If you can just give me a minute, TMOD.
Okay, so in the meantime, what we will do is, since he's been paying close attention to us till now, it's now time for us to assess how our language has been today and where we can improve. Please welcome today's language evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Hisham Difri. The screen is all yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Welcome to the language evaluation. I'll keep it brief and finish off with brevity. The meeting today had two fabulous speeches and exceptional officers' reports. I have picked some of the high points, some of the highlights, and the wonderful use of language that we can learn from. And some of these are best half. This is a descriptive adjective that was used in a humorous manner. Something simple but beautifully done. Reminds, record, report. The rule of three, the triad, along with that rhyming R sound, which is alliteration. Nicely done. Engaging, entertaining, moving, rhyming triad with the ing sound. Remember, this is music to the ears. The repetition adds familiarity, and familiarity creates that comfort. Feeling deeply, loving deeply, and giving deeply. That's a rhyming triad. That's the rule of three, but with anaphora added, because it ends with deeply at the end of each of those sentences. That's a beautiful phrase that was used and wonderfully well crafted. Pin drop silence. That's a vivid description of the atmosphere of that room. Just two words, but it described a room that none of us had been there, but I'm sure that it touched the imagination as it did mine. It is not fiction. It is a fact. That's the rhyming F word used there in order to deliver that very powerful and pertinent statement. One of my favorite personal quotes from this meeting is, honesty is not about lying. It is about telling the truth, even when no one is listening. That was a wonderfully crafted quote, from the speaker, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim. What excites me about life is the uncertainty. That's an alliteration rhyming using the rhyming E and A sound. Shortness, brevity, limited time, artistic words used with the rule of 3. Living forever means time has no meaning. Simple statement, but it has a deeply philosophical meaning. So although the words are simple words, you think about it, it has a reversal in it that begs the mind to think into what has gone into the crafting of that sentence. The music happens in the silence between the words. What a beautiful way to use that quote in an evaluation of a speaker. Wonderfully well done. And then finally, a beautiful metaphor. It is not a speech, it is a book of lessons. It's a great use of a metaphor. Thank you very much for listening to me. Back to you, Mr. T. Modi.
Thank you so much for that detailed language evaluation. Distinguished Master Hisham Jafri. Now let us go back to the timer quickly if timer is ready with her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I've already given the timing details for the prepared speeches. So let's move on to the table topic speeches. The first speaker, DTM Ratandanath, took 2 minutes and 6 seconds, well within time. DTM Hisham Jafri, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. And Toastmaster Abdul Rahim took 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Let's move on to the speech evaluation. Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq for the speaker 1, that is Toastmaster Abdul Rahim. The first evaluation was 3 minutes and 37, and the next was 2 minutes and 23. For the speaker to Ghulam Farooq took for Kamal Shahabi 2 minutes 45, and the second was 3 minutes. Jahangir Khan took for the first speaker, Abdul Rahim, it was 2 minutes 45 and then 4 minutes and 45. Kamal Shahabi for DTM Jahangir took 3 minutes and 37 seconds. For Abdul Rahim, he took 2 minutes 45 and 3 minutes 18. And for Kamal Shahabi, it was 3 minutes 37 and 2 minutes 38. And let's move on to the final, moving on to the total meeting details. The Sergeant at Arms started at 7:31 and the end time was 7:33. Allocated time was 5 minutes, but she just took 2 minutes. There were still 3 minutes remaining. So the president segment, including the adoption of the agenda and the business session, was totally allotted was 11 minutes. The president took 19 minutes, exceeded by 8 minutes. TMOD's initial comments was slotted for 8 minutes. He took by 10 minutes, which was exceeded by 2 minutes. That was because of my technical glitch. I apologize. Area director's address was allocated for 5 minutes. He just took 3 minutes. He could have spoken for 2 more minutes because he gets just twice a year to address the clubs. The education session was for 20 minutes. You took a minute more. The break was for 5 minutes. We just took a minute more. Table topic session was for 15 minutes. We were well within time, took 13 minutes. And the table topic evaluation was for 5 minutes, and DTM Khurram Salman finished it within 3 minutes. That's all from me. Back to you, Mr. Tiamoni.
Thank you, timer. Now that we have come to the end of the session, we would like to get valuable feedback from the members and if there are any more guests, so that we would know what we did right and what we can do better. You may please unmute yourself and give your valuable feedback. This is one of the things that we thought was instead of a general evaluator, let everybody give the evaluation. That would be a good option, right?
Master of Ceremonies,
Yes,
if I
sir.
may to check for a bit. Because of the interest of time, we won't be able to go around and get feedback. So what I'm recommending, if we can just put it in personal chat while we launch the poll for our
Yeah.
best role players.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we do have. In my opinion, you will all agree with me when I say that today's session was very insightful and made us more aware of evaluation's essence and value. Having you all here was a pleasure, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. With this, now I hand control back to the President, Distinguished Toastmaster Hisham Jifri, to share the awards for the best evaluator, table topics, and speaker. Back to you, Mr. President. The screen is all yours.
Thank you very much, and big hand for our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Nagendra Sitaram. Thank you so much for managing the meeting in such a brilliant manner. Very well done, and I appreciate your support always. So if the poll, Madam Host, Madam Sergeant at Arms, has the poll been launched? Are we okay?
Yes, it's launched.
Fantastic. You have the results with you?
1 minute.
Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes, and if the certificates are ready as well, you can share it. In the meanwhile, let me also thank our speakers for coming forward to deliver 2 very insightful speeches, as always, filled with wonderful language, great lessons to take away, and special thanks to the evaluators who really poured their heart and soul and effort into giving feedback to the speakers, as well as giving us some interesting intuitions and interesting insights into the fine art of evaluation. This concludes the first baby, the firstborn of our Vice President of Education, the essence of evaluation, a 3-part series focusing on the wider angle of evaluation. The first event looking at giving feedback to a potential world champion of public speaking, not once, but for 2 speeches. The second, taking something old, but converting it into gold, which was asking DTM Ahmed Shukri, someone who's been giving us evaluation workshops for a long time, but this was an evaluation workshop with a difference. Just for your information, we planned for 1 hour, but seamlessly, effortlessly, timelessly, it branched out into nothing less than 2 hours. So we hope to share that video on YouTube as well. And the event concludes with today's discussion, the essence of effective evaluation. So thank you for all your support. It has been a wonderful journey through evaluation. And then we move on to parliamentary procedures, leadership, and then more good news in the weeks and months to come. So well done, everyone. Thank you to the ExCom and thank you to all the members whose support has been amazing. The meetings look nice, it's well attended, and it's running like clockwork. Madam Sergeant at Arms, if you would.
Mr. President, I have sent the names of the winners to you.
Sure. So much. Let me have a look at it. Thank you, ma'am. So if we are ready, the best table topics commentator for today is none other than DTM Hisham Jifri. If the other DTM Khalid was here, he will mention 1 word: Vasta, Vasta. The best evaluator for tonight. There we go. There we go. The best evaluator for tonight is none other than our valued guest, our Area 2 Director, Toastmaster Ghulam Farooq Qadir. And the best speaker, the star of tonight, is none other than the Emperor of Language, Toastmaster Abdul Rahim Hassan. Let us take a group photo before we go any further. So let me also ask that other famous question: who is clicking the photo? I
I
by
will be
mistake.
clicking the picture. Just 1 second.
Sure.
Just Sponsor Sushma is sharing the screen for the awards.
Oh,
Thank you.
fabulous, fabulous.
So
One
this is the speaker.
Yeah, madam, you can just change my name to TM, not DTM.
Okay, I'll do that. And
Same here. Same with me.
We are looking into the future.
It must be reminding you of something. Recently, it has been. Okay, I need to take a group photo, but madam, you need to. Okay, perfect. Just 1 second. Kamal, DTM Khalid, and Khurram. We have 2 Khurrams. Okay, 1, 2, 3. First, without the thumbs up. Second, we'll take it with the thumbs up. Can you all smile? Okay, just 1 second. Let me.
It was without thumbs up.
Okay, I'll take another one. Okay, let's do it with the thumbs up now. 1, 2. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you very much, VP Pierre. So next on the agenda is guest feedback. I believe we have just one guest remaining. Toastmaster Kamal, if you would give us a few words about your thoughts for our meeting today.
It was an amazing meeting. Thank you guys very much. It was very professional way of conducting a Toastmaster meeting, and I have learned from you a lot. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, sir. Thank you very much, and you're very welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, before we adjourn meeting number 11, I have one very important question, which echoes the question that our VPE asked each one of us. When is our next meeting?
September 11th. Can't
Yes,
be
it is September 11th.
9/11.
Yes, and just on an interesting note, I believe 14th of August, that's today, is the day on 1971 on which Bahrain declared its independence from Britain. So some interesting trivia for the day as well.
By the way, it's the Independence Day of Pakistan as well, 14th of.
As well.
There we go. There we go. So it's something
Tomorrow
interesting.
ours.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Happy Independence Day to Bahrain, Pakistan, and India.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies
Okay.
and gentlemen, Mr. VP.
I
any more
never say it's
announcements to be-
happy.
Any announcements to be made?
No, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. If you need any role players or anything, if you want to partake in the next upcoming meeting, please do reach out to me as soon as you can. We already have DTM Jaggi, who has booked a speaking slot, and DTM Faraz, who's been booking a speaking slot for the past 3 meetings, but this time he has promised to deliver. So we hope that we have a jam-packed session as well.
Fabulous.
For AD raising the hand.
Toastmaster Ghulam, the screen is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask a question like, have you decided the dates for the club contests?
It will be in December.
December. Okay.
The plan is that we will most probably have all the contests on the same day.
Sure. Yeah, because the area contest may be planned somewhere in January and February. So just wanted to update you on that one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
So the plan so far is to have the meeting in December as the contest meeting. Mr. VP, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Any other business to be discussed? Hearing none, meeting number 11 is adjourned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Mr. Area Director,